In today's news, BVI sees a great decline in active COVID-19 cases.
Premier Foy pens stern letter to UK and VI remembers Wayne Faxman Adams. All this and more when 284 News returns. Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works. Welcome everyone. It's Tuesday, September 29th, 2020, a terrific Tuesday in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. I'm Ron Grant.
And I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes. Ron here Tuesday, and we have so much to cover.
Lots to cover. We're going to get right into it. Before we get into the news cast today, let's just touch on some news stories, summary stories that happened recently. Of course, on Monday, September 28, members of the Rotary Club Sunrise Rowtown made donations to the ASPS Pantry as well as FSN. The pantry items were specific to breakfast items to ensure students started the day off with a healthy breakfast, which will be collected by parents of students in need. Now, additionally, $50 gift certificates were donated to FSN for students in need. We caught up with President of the Rotary Club Sunrise, Mrs. Kenesha Sprov. Take a listen.
In an effort to ensure that our students at the Alta Scatliff Primary School are well taken care of, we usually donate to their breakfast program. And because we were not able to donate to their breakfast program because they were not in school, Rotary Club Sunrise provided breakfast items to the different families that would usually take part in the breakfast program. We also donated gift certificates, $50 gift certificates to the FSN to ensure that students are equipped to perform well in school. We know that during this time of COVID-19 that things are hard, and we at Sunrise would just like to do our part. If we can help one person is enough.
Now, Ron, great story from Rotary
They're
Sunrise
doing their thing,
there.
yeah, definitely doing and reaching out to the community. Very proud and congratulate them on the work they're doing.
Most definitely. But as we summarize some more, we see where our health team is basically saying that 3% of the BVI cases are linked to the restaurants in the territory. Now, Ron, 3%, we really have to look at the numbers. Of course, we would like if that was 0%, but really and truly, when dealing with COVID-19, of course, we want to urge persons to be as careful as possible, but really and truly, COVID-19 can be spread in any facility, in any environment, really and truly. So we definitely want to encourage persons with this new development to do all that you have to do, sanitize, wear your mask, because although we are out in the open, we do want to make sure that everyone is safe. But also on a global spectrum, Ron, we see where the death rates as it pertains to COVID-19 the toll is now to 1 million persons. Wow. So that is definitely alarming. We have been dealing with COVID-19 from late last year, and we are still fighting with this virus. So we've seen where 1 million persons have lost their life to this pandemic.
Absolutely tragic. And Kyla, as we look at our local statistics, 3%, the government saying really apparently garnered from the restaurants. I honestly don't think that 3% is a lot. Now, it's obviously too much, don't get me wrong, but it's not a lot. And that 3% could have been attributed to anywhere else, such as perhaps the supermarkets. We also saw the latest statistics where a number of the infected persons were police officers. So again, when we use the term a fluid situation, we see where it really depends on person's activity and their really and truly readiness to align themselves with the health protocols. Now, the latest reports coming out of the Ministry of Health as of today, total cases recorded 71, total active positive cases, that's 3, total persons recovered 67, and of course, 1 unfortunate death. So we continue to keep viewers informed as it pertains to the COVID-19 situation on the ground. Now, beginning on local scene, a very interesting story that we're going to get into depth today. In a detailed and heated letter to Baroness Sugg, Premier of the Virgin Islands, the Honorable Andrew A. Foy penned his frustration on the recent decision by Governor of the Virgin Islands, Augustus J.U. Jasper, to have UK military come to the British Virgin Islands to assist in border protection despite the Foy-led government declining their assistance. Foy calls the action by Governor Jasper a hijacking of the territory's seas border protection. Now, the letter received by our newsroom dated September 25th states, and I quote, "Dear Baroness Sugg, a pleasant good day and God's blessings to you and your family. I am writing to express my dissatisfaction and outrage with the hijacking of the territory's sea border protection by your governor on the basis of a grossly inaccurate and exaggerated misrepresentation of the true state and extent of the capabilities of the BVI's resources and the threat that the territory faces during COVID-19. Governor Jasper's intention to deliberately bulldoze the elected government is lucidly clear, as he has issued a public statement on September 25th informing the public that the UK government would be providing various things which my government and I have not asked for, and which we advised him of our objection to it in the format in which he is proceeding to act." Now, he further said, yet again, made statements aimed at injuring the relationship between the people of the Virgin Islands and their democratically elected government, and conducted himself in a manner that jeopardizes the relationship between the BVI and the UK government. Your governor's imperialistic, roughshod behavior in this manner is offensive and insulting to my government and I, as well as to the aspirations of the people of the Virgin Islands who are struggling to realize centuries-old dream of their enslaved ancestors to one day be fully free of the grip of the British, as encapsulated in Article 73 of the United Nations Charter. Now, by letters to His Excellency on the 15th, 23rd, and 24th of September, I have been very clear that from a cultural perspective, the people of the Virgin Islands see a role for the UK military in assisting certain aspects of our border protection strategy. But because of the desire to develop our domestic capabilities, the invitation for the UK military assistance is limited to certain functions.
Now, Ron, that letter went on to say our objective in this regard is that the BVI must be able to effectively manage its own affairs into the future with minimum assistance from the UK, especially where the UK's ability to provide assistance is constrained, as is the present case. As such, the request made of the UK through the governor was for maritime surveillance support to complement the existing sea border protection strategy for a 3-month period, while a permanent border surveillance system is being procured and installed by the BVI. He went on to say no request was made for the UK to co-fund or donate any funds to the procurement of the permanent border surveillance system. What was requested was for the UK to provide technical expertise with regards to the equipment needed and its installation. It was made very clear to the governor that the BVI being able to purchase a border protection system on its own would be a tremendous accomplishment for Virgin Islanders and would inspire them to recognize their ability and to have confidence in themselves. Now, by letter this morning, 25th September 2020, suggests to the governor that his unsolicited offer of 50% of the cost of the surveillance system, estimated at approximately $300,000, could be directed to other areas of need, such as providing equipment and vessels for the Virgin Islands police force and HM Customs. Despite the position of the government of the Virgin Islands being clearly articulated to Governor Jasper, he proceeded to present a paper at this morning's National Security Council meeting, which exaggerated the needs of the BVI to paint a fabricated, inaccurate, and misleading picture of the state of affairs and capabilities of the territory to justify the UK's interventions, including military involvement beyond the scope of what was requested by the territorial government. The fact are that the government of the Virgin Islands and our local teams are across the various ministries and departments has been performing admirably in containing and managing the spread of COVID-19 in the BVI. At the moment, there are only 8 active cases. That was at the time of the this written letter in the territory, and these are reducing almost daily. This is one of the reasons why we have been able to set the date for the reopening of our borders to tourists as of the 1st of December 2020. While there were a few incidents of illegal entry into the BVI some time ago, we have been able to stop the trafficking of humans and illicit items by leveraging the resources available to us. This includes drawing on the support of the U.S. Virgin Islands True or Friendship Day Agreement to coordinate their resources with ours, the mobilization of local surveillance assets by HM Customs, and the hard work of the BVI officers operating under the Joint Task Force and other agencies. He went on to say, to describe the BVI situation as expedited and our resources are as stretched as Government Jasper has done in his NSC paper is an exaggeration and grossly misrepresentation of the state of affairs on the ground to use this fabricated case to create jurisdiction for the UK interventions is dishonest. To suggest that the UK military and government must swoop in and rescue the BVI people is highly insulting, considering that neither the BVI's border protection nor or public health situation are under control. The evidence is that these are being well managed by the government of the Virgin Islands and our people. Now, Ron, this is just not half of the letter written by Premier Foy. Of course, if viewers want to read the rest of this letter, they can find it at our website, of course, at 284media.com. But Ron, really and truly, this is a mouthful.
It's a heavy one, and not only is it a heavy one, it's a mouthful, like you said. Ever since we broke the story this morning, residents all across the territory have been, of course, voicing their concern. Some saying blatantly that they find it disrespectful, the comments by the Premier. Others say they're proud of him. One person said it is not within your mandate. Border protection is the responsibility of the governor, not the Premier. But I want to bring the viewers to a very interesting point because COVID-19 has brought to light many different aspects, and one of them has been border security.
Right.
In the interim, at the beginning of the situation when we began experiencing issues with COVID-19 and the illegal immigrants and human trafficking, it was very interesting to see how our leaders quickly shifted the blame from one to the other. Some saying it's not their responsibility, while others saying it's the responsibility of others. Where in Fort, the correct analysis and the records would show that it is the responsibility of the governor. So hence, if it is his responsibility and he sees it fit, despite it not being in agreement, it is his role in border security. Now, if we were in a different situation, perhaps where we ultimately needed, we felt like we needed, or the Premier felt like he needed the assistance, and the governor who's responsible said, well, you don't really need it because you have the resources, then I think it would have been a different conversation. So we see where the mantle officially is continuously passing between our leaders. But what I think is most important, and a lot of our residents have echoed the sentiments, is this really perhaps the right time to be picking a fight?
Ron, all great points that you basically touched on. Really and truly, a lot of persons are asking, did the governor basically step out of bounds when the government of the Virgin Islands basically said, hey, we're declining this offer, and within his mandate, the governor went forward because he saw it fit. did the governor step outside of his bounds? And really and truly, where we see this back and forth, I think really knowing the role of both the
Correct.
UK government and the BVI government is truly essential in all of this, because as you said, if we needed it and they said that they weren't necessarily sending it, would they be in the right? Would they be in the
It would
wrong?
have been
And
a different conversation.
Definitely. And right now, with so many things on our plate and so many things to deal with, I think really and truly, as you said, is this really the time? Of course, we do understand that the BVI just trying to one step closer to independence and wanting to definitely hold our own. Really and truly, the question is up in the air. Why are we so reluctant to accept this help?
Correct. Accept this particular help of border security, but we accept a lot of other assistance from the UK from time to time, whether it's medical supplies, a variety of different stuff. Money, we are ready and willing to accept those gifts and those benefits, but not border security. I think that's the interesting point. Of course, now this viewers is on the heels of Governor Jasper's term. He's about to wrap up his term.
Yes.
And it shows sometimes that the timing, perhaps, viewers are saying that perhaps it might not be the right timing. But of course, we're going to continue to keep you posted on this story. Still ahead, VI remembers the one and only Wayne Faxman Adams. He has been lauded for his knowledge of history and called a walking encyclopedia by BVI Premier. All this and more after a word from our sponsors. You're watching 284 News.
Brilliant Hands and Minds Tutoring Services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News, and definitely thank you for sticking with us. Now, Ron, we spoke a little bit about this in the beginning of our newscast. Some great news for the BVI as the Minister of Health and Social Development, Honorable Carvin Malone, reported a significant drop in active cases of COVID-19 with 66 recoveries now confirmed. Minister Malone further reported that as of September 28th, of the 71 total positive COVID-19 cases recorded, the active cases now stand at 4, and unfortunately 1 death in the territory due to COVID-19. The total number of persons tested for COVID-19, the virus, stands at 4,841 persons. Members of the public, of course, are urged to continue to report any suspicious activity by dialing 311, that is 311, and to adhere to all safety measures such as hand sanitizing, cough etiquette, wearing face masks in public, physical distancing, and minimizing social gatherings. Persons who are experiencing any symptoms related to COVID-19 are reminded not to visit any healthcare facilities, but are encouraged to contact the medical hotline at 852-7650. That is 852-7650 for an assessment or an appointment for COVID-19 testing. Common symptoms include fever, cough, headaches, fatigue, loss of taste or smell, sore throat, muscle aches, or a difficulty breathing. But Ron, we definitely love to bring this sort of news. We definitely need to count those wins. We see where 66 persons have recovered in the territory. And yes, we have 4 active cases, but this is actually a good thing for the BVI. And we definitely want to continue doing what we have been doing, the good things that is, and basically doing all that we can to keep COVID-19 low and even COVID-free here in the BVI.
I love the way you put it, counting the wins. Ever so often, we're so fixated on the negative and the negative aspect of the story. But in this case, I do agree with you that we must continue as a Virgin Islands community to count our wins in different assets. Our elders used to say, "Count our blessings," so it's the same thing. Now, continuing on the local scene, out of the VI consortium in St. Thomas, USVI, residents of the USVI and the BVI, including many political class throughout the past few days, have sent condolences and shared memories about Wayne Faxman Adams, who died over this weekend. Now, I have learned so much from Wayne Faxman Adams over the years. Today, I am truly saddened to hear of his passing. Wayne was not only a historian, but an activist, musician, political pundit, and advocate for normalizing mental illness, said Senator Norville Francis. Now, he was smart, talented, and truly one of a kind. His passing leaves us a void in our community. I am honored to have known him and extend my condolences to his family and all who mourn his loss. Governor Albert Bryant also shared condolences by saying Wayne had a gift that he selflessly shared with all in our community. His penchant for information and his love of Virgin Islands history made him a household name and an icon on our local talk show circuit, where he would frequently call in to tell of the achievements of Virgin Islanders. He was an important voice, and he will surely be missed, said Governor Albert Bryant in a release. He continued by saying, Yolanda and I extend our condolences to his family, friends, and all in the Virgin Islands community who are mourning his passing. Now, community members took to social media to share their condolences and stories as well. Terrence A. Thomas, a classmate, wrote on Facebook, "Long before you knew him as Faxman, we knew him as Shangaman, the radical." Mr. Thomas said Mr. Adams was dubbed Faxman in 1984, and the name simply stuck with him. He was a featured artist on Boya Boy, Big Man, Big Man. He had a unique style of singing. Black history was his passion. Did you know he single-handedly mounted a campaign to stop nuclear waste from transitioning through the Caribbean? He was successful. He traveled the world and met with world leaders. Of course, our Premier and Minister of Finance here in the BVI, the Honorable Andrew A. Foy, also shared condolences. He said, and I quote, "I cannot let the day pass without posting RIP to my friend, Wayne Adams, aka Mr. Faxman. We go way back from my days in St. Thomas as I attended CVI or UVI. He was a walking encyclopedia. He was a historian. His knowledge and history of the VI and its politics, both in the USVI and BVI, and of course its people, was admirable. Condolences to his family and friends. May his soul rest in eternal peace." Kyla, a Virgin Islands legend in his own right, a historian. You could ask him about anything pertaining to the BVI or USVI culture. He was quite aware of the regional issues and world issues, and like Mr. Terrence said, he was essentially an advocate for mental illness. Too often sometimes, and I think it's important to note that as members are in our community, perhaps their health begins to deteriorate. Many of us tend to turn a blind eye, and we tend to scold, and we tend to frown our nose, not understanding truly the contribution that many of these people that walk our streets, both in the BVI and in the USVI, hold and have contributed. This is no shy example of the remarkable work and person, really, that Wayne Faxman Adams was.
Ron, as you spoke about the tributes to Mr. Faxman, I sat here and I smiled because simply, of course, may his soul rest in peace, and definitely condolences to all his family. But we see where, Virgin Islanders, I love to see Virgin Islanders that love their culture and their history. And as I sit here, I wonder and I think on the next generation of historians and who will pick up that mantle, because I think those persons in our community are very important. The persons who tell our stories and remind us of who we are as BVI Landers, as USVI Landers, and also who we are together as a Virgin Islands all together. So we definitely want to send condolences to his family and to his friends, because he definitely made an impact across the region.
Definitely. Now, viewers, we're watching a story, covering a story, out of the Cayman Islands. As was previously reported on September 6, 2020, the governor of the Cayman Islands, Martin Rupert, approved a law making same-sex partnerships legal in the British Overseas Territory. Now, as of yesterday, September 28, same-sex couples can make their unions official and receive legal documentation in the neighboring British Overseas Territory, the Cayman Islands, that is. Now, in an official statement, Governor Rupert said, and I quote, Today we will end discrimination being suffered by Caymanians and others on the island whilst protecting the institution of marriage." He continued by saying the action does not alter or undermine the strong Christian heritage and values of the people of the Cayman Islands. No one is being asked to change their long-held beliefs. Caymanian Governor Rupert, in his statement, said that this is in line with instructions from the UK government ministers to use his reserved powers under Section 81 of the Constitution. The changes to the law came in effect on September 6th after being gazetted. However, the civil service requires a delay of 21 days before starting to accept the process applications and registrations of civil partnership. Now, the law, which was formerly titled the Domestic Partnership Bill, was defeated in the Legislative Assembly of the Cayman Islands on July 29 when lawmakers voted down the bill 9-8. But the governor, using his reserved powers, written legislation, opted to reintroduce the bill and set it to the following 21 days of public consultation. Now, in his statement, Rupert said a number of amendments were made to the draft legislation discussed by the Legislative Assembly, namely, and I quote, "They were aimed principally at strengthening the effectiveness of legislation." Now, because Cayman Islands is an overseas territory, many residents here in the BVI almost feel as though the same measures of pressure that was pushed on them will be placed on us. Now, I took to the streets early today just to get an idea of what residents, old and young, feel about the possibility of the UK imposing same-sex marriage on us. Take a look.
I mean, personally, I think it's already here, so I don't think the pushback would be as hard as people is assuming. We have a lot of people in high positions that's already, dealing with same sex and whatever the case may be, and it doesn't stop life, it doesn't stop business or the economy, so it wouldn't be no different. The only confusion I personally have is the last time I checked, Her Majesty did not want same-sex marriage in her territories, so if something has changed, it's because she's about to retire. But other than that, I don't think it would change anything here. There would be some who would push back, of course, because it is something that we grew up normal with, or whatever the case may be. So there might be minor pushback, but there's no pushback now, so I doubt that'll, be anything that's serious, because it ain't like you're forcing me to watch, it's just you gain the rights to, love who you want to love. So me personally, I don't see a problem with it.
I don't think that it's the right thing to do because you're sending mixed messages, and as we should be a Christian society, my thing is a man was made for a woman and a woman was made for men. Not a woman and a woman and a man and men. That's just my opinion on it. People can be different, but I sticking with that because a man was made for a woman and a woman was made for a man. Both of its sexes, not same sexes.
I would say this about same-sex marriage. It is against the will of God, and if Britain ever bring it here, we will have to demonstrate against it and stop it and kick it out of here. And there could be no other resolution to that. And I'm sure the people of the British Virgin Islands would get together and do that.
I do feel some part of me that we are too going to be forced to indulge in the same-sex marriage in the British Virgin Islands, because it's coming from, our crown, if you may call it as a nickname, the UK. If that's be the case, because we are British overseas territory, there's nothing we could do about it. Me personally, if it does come, it's not something I'm for because of my religion, but it's not something I am against because of my religion, because I'm not going to cast the first stone if I know I'm not without sin. Of course, if it does happen, you just have to live with it, just like Corona. Yeah, that's my views on things, man.
Kyla, essentially making sure that our viewers, their voices are heard. We took to the streets and that's what they had to say. So we'll continue to follow this story as it pertains to the same-sex marriage and essentially one of the things that the Caymanian leader said, it was almost insinuating like he was forced. His hand was twisted a bit, and we're going to continue to follow this story.
Most definitely, Ron. Of course, we've run out of time, and that is it. Today's news roundup. Of course, viewers, you can get your daily news updates at 284media.com. I am Kyla Kenesha Ford.
And I'm Ron Grant. Happy Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.